A quirky 2000s comedy, an Oscar-winning biopic, and a reimagining of one of the most infamous murders in American history. Whether you're a film fanatic or casual viewer, Hulu is loaded with must-see movies you won't want to miss. Only the Coen brothers could come up with a movie like 2000's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Taking Homer's The Odyssey and wrapping it up in the Depression-era American South is a stroke of genius that works masterfully. George Clooney, John Turturro, and Tim Blake Nelson star as a trio of escaped convicts who wander rural Mississippi to the tunes of some of the 21st century's best folk artists. Like most Coen brothers' satirical comedies, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Is quirky, nonsensical, and has enough whimsy to make us wish for more. Not only was the film itself a solid hit, but the folk-infused soundtrack won the 2002 Grammy Award for Album of the Year. If you're looking for an adventure filled with exciting characters, harrowing journeys, and a spectacular climax, then look no further than what many fans consider to be the Coens' best movie.
And stay out of the Woolworth!
There has never been another successful indie comedy quite like Napoleon Dynamite. If you happen to miss this one the first time around, this 2004 Quirkfest is one of the best out there, full of zany characters, strange happenings, and plenty of Idaho-centric material that is all derived from the lives of married filmmakers Jared and Jerusha Hess. By all accounts, Napoleon Dynamite made John Heder a rising comedic star in Hollywood. Napoleon started it all with his trademark perm, oversized glasses, and blank stare, the latter of which makes you wonder how much is really going on upstairs. Set in the real-life Preston, Idaho, Napoleon Dynamite has been mistaken for a period piece, though it's actually just an honest look at certain parts of rural America. Full of highly quotable one-liners, there's no better time than the 20th anniversary of Napoleon Dynamite to revisit the hilarious picture.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Most music biopics aren't nearly as good as Walk the Line. Directed by James Mangold, this deep dive into Johnny Cash's early life and career brings the Man in Black to life, with Joaquin Phoenix firmly embodying the legendary singer. Not only does Phoenix physically embody Cash, but he does a surefire job of performing as a country music legend. Starring opposite Reese Witherspoon as June Carter, this ranks as one of Phoenix's best performances to date, as he beautifully captures Cash's hardships and struggles with fame, infidelity, and substance abuse. While Walk the Line doesn't tell Cash's full story, it sets the stage for his eventual redemption while chronicling his romance with June. Witherspoon won the Best Actress Oscar for her performance here, and it's not hard to see why. Featuring plenty of Cash's most famous tunes, Walk the Line is a biopic that stands above the rest and reminds us that fame and fortune aren't always all they're cracked up to be. Before Greta Gerwig directed Barbie, she tackled one of the most beloved novels of the 19th century, the Louisa May Alcott classic Little Women. This coming-of-age period drama unites Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Florence Pugh, and Eliza Scanlon as the four March sisters who journey from their innocent childhood to adulthood in a non-linear narrative that includes all the book's highlights. Of course, there's so much more to this film than being a simple coming-of-age tale, but that's certainly at the heart of it. While there are plenty of impressive Little Women adaptations out there, Gerwig's is particularly notable for its powerful performances, strong use of editing, and the way it portrays Jo as something of a stand-in for the original novel's author. There's something magical about this picture, and perhaps that's why we love it so much. Unsurprisingly, the 2019 drama amassed 6 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay. No wonder Gerwig was given free rein on Barbie. Is there a more impressive Western from the 1990s than Tombstone? While the genre has seen something of a resurgence lately, Hollywood was going full force with it in the early 90s, with pictures like Dances with Wolves and Unforgiven, followed in 1993 by Tombstone. Though the film's production was a bit of a mess, forcing actor Kurt Russell to temporarily take over as the movie's director, the outcome speaks gloriously for itself. Russell's Wyatt Earp and Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday will go down in Hollywood history as two of the genre's most dynamic characters, with the latter giving what's perhaps the greatest performance of his entire career. Tombstone, of course, is based on the true events behind the historical 1881 gunfight at the OK Corral, and the eventual war it sparked between the Earp brothers and the infamous outlaw gang known as the Cowboys. In the film, Wyatt Earp is pushed to his absolute limits until he manages to enact his uncompromising mixture of justice and vengeance. Still, Kilmer's Holiday is the real star of the show, with all the best lines.
I'm your huckleberry.
There might not be a more perfect summer blockbuster than director Roland Emmerich's Independence Day. Not only is this the best movie to watch before fireworks on the 4th of July, but it also has just about everything you could ask for from a solid summer blockbuster, including action, suspense, fun characters, and plenty of heart.
Welcome to Earth.
Even if it feels a bit stuck in the 90s at times, Independence Day still boasts a spectacular cast that includes Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Randy Quaid, Mary McDonnell, Vivica A. Fox, and an impressive roster of other stars. Though a lackluster sequel was released in 2016, the original Independence Day is an excellent standalone adventure that unites humanity in a time of great darkness. What could be a more timely message than that? Steven Spielberg once said that this one reinvented the blockbuster, and that's some seriously high praise. It's not too often that a work by William Shakespeare is adapted into a teen romantic comedy, but 1999's 10 Things I Hate About You is undoubtedly the best of that bunch. Adapting Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew into a 1990 Seattle high school setting, this rom-com is staged with an impressive cast, including Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, that left audiences and critics fairly impressed at the time. Ledger's Can't Take My Eyes Off You serenade at the football field is more than enough to keep all eyes on the young actor, who was already showing his talents as a movie star before appearing in Brokeback Mountain and The Dark Knight. Additionally, Stiles and Ledger are electric on the screen together, forming the beating heart and soul of this picture. 10 Things I Hate About You might be as dramatic as Shakespeare, but it feels quite modern in all the right ways. As part of his filmmaking resurgence in the mid-2010s, M. Night Shyamalan dropped 2016's Split on us. The film stars James McAvoy as a man suffering from dissociative identity disorder, which manifests itself in 23 distinct personalities. McAvoy masterfully balances a dozen of Kevin Crumb's personalities with immaculate care, pushing the boundaries of his own ability on the screen. His chemistry with co-star Anya Taylor-Joy, who plays a young woman held hostage by Crumb, is also impressive, and the pair managed to forge a genuine connection despite the danger involved. As far as Shyamalan's trademark twists go, Split features one of his best, connecting this film to his 2000 hit Unbreakable, thus turning Split into a supervillain origin picture rather than a simple horror film was a bold move. In fact, it surprised audiences and critics more than almost any other twist Shyamalan's thrown at us. While the sequel, Glass, might not have paid it all off, Split remains one of the director's strongest works. At the moment, the only Quentin Tarantino film on Hulu is his most recent. A love letter of sorts to the entire motion picture industry, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood centers on fading actor Rick Dalton, his stuntman Cliff Booth, and Sharon Tate, as their worlds all change drastically around them, combining the evolving film industry of the late 1960s with the infamous Tate murders might not be the first thing most filmmakers would have done, but Tarantino pulls it off effortlessly. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, who played Dalton and Booth, give two of the best performances of their careers.
Rick, I'm your driver, man. I'm your gopher. I'm not complaining, man. I like driving you around.
And Margot Robbie, who plays Tate, is a delight as always. If you love Hollywood history, true crime, or just Quentin Tarantino, then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a must-add to your watch list. If you still want more after that, Tarantino wrote a novelization that answers several fan questions left unaddressed by the film, and adds a plethora of additional content. Everyone was shocked when a Robin Williams-led sequel to the original Jumanji was first announced. But when Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle finally hit theaters in 2017, audiences and critics were pleasantly surprised. With an ensemble cast led by Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, and Jack Black, the film follows four teenagers who are transported into a video game version of the original Jumanji board game, only to appear as adult avatars. This movie is hysterical and a fascinating upgrade to the original 1995 film that cleverly updates the material for the 21st century and gives it a fresh new perspective. Johnson and Hart always have great chemistry on screen, but when combined with Black and Gillan, their antics reach a whole new level. Fans of Welcome to the Jungle should note that its direct sequel, Jumanji: The Next Level, is also available on Hulu. With Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in theaters in the summer of 2024, there's no better time to revisit the preceding three movies in the current Planet of the Apes series, following a young chimpanzee named Caesar, played by Andy Serkis, as he develops enhanced intelligence and later leads a clan of apes. This story begins with Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which chronicles the ape's initial evolution.
Are you a pet? No. You're not a pet.
From there, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes continues the story. Director Matt Reeves took over the franchise for Dawn, which takes place a number of years later as human civilization crumbles. The trilogy concludes with War for the Planet of the Apes, where Caesar takes a fight to mankind after they attack his home. This trilogy is an excellent example of how an old property can be reinvigorated through powerful storytelling and meaningful character arcs. While almost every Planet of the Apes film is available on Hulu, the rebooted trilogy from Rise to War is arguably the most exceptional of the bunch. Andy Serkis makes us care more about Caesar than we ever thought possible, and that's a testament to both his incredible performance capture work and the story's power.